The Jesters' 2016 season got off to a great start Saturday night in a 3-0 win. In this episode of the Jesters Court, we will show you highlights from the victory in the friendly against Houston. You will hear from several of the key contributors, and Coach Farrell will break down 2 of the New Orleans goals. Also, we joke around with one of the heroes, Jordan Kanoshi. And Keir Hannity will teach you young Jesters how to better keep the ball at your feet. The Jesters season is off and running, and so is the Jesters Court. And it starts right now. Buffalo Wild Wings in Metairie at the corner of Veterans and Severn, home of the Jesters Court and now the home to all-day soccer action and a stadium-inspired menu. Buffalo Wild Wings is your soccer watching destination all summer long. And we welcome you inside for the latest edition of the Jesters Court. Paul Boren along with Jesters head coach Kenny Farrell. And coach, the season is underway, and what a way to start it on Saturday night. Just a great result.
Yeah, a good result, good start for everybody. Fans, players, everybody involved. It was just very nice to come out of there with pretty much an emphatic victory, but well played. It was nothing lucky about it. It was a good test from Houston, but you know, the things we asked the players to do, they were able to execute. Fans really enjoyed it, and I think, you know, I'm very happy with local players, and we look like we're moving forward. And
really well played, considering the fact that you really didn't have a lot of training with these guys. I mean, you talked about it before, most soccer teams have 8 weeks or so of training. You basically had about 8 hours.
Well, it's part and parcel of the league that we're in, and it's the American system, and at the level we're at, we get these players very, very late, and we still don't have some of them. So, you know, you're very practical about how you approach it. We recruited very good players coming in, and also the local players were outstanding. I know we'll talk about that later in the show.
Absolutely. So it was a great start to the season, a friendly against Houston. Let's take a look at the highlights. On a perfect night for the opener, the Jesters took the field for a friendly against the Houston Hurricanes, and the Royal Court was ready for action. 3rd minute, early opportunity off the corner kick, but Czech Youth is quick off his line to eliminate the threat. Just 3 minutes later, the Jesters with a corner kick of their own. Bill Smith with the cross, the Hurricanes headed forward, and Mason Morris with the beautiful touch and clean strike, and it's 1-0 New Orleans. In the 36th minute, the Jesters continue to defend well, and the Hurricanes have to settle for a long shot, and it's handled by Youth. In stoppage time of the first half, Niall Smith into the box, and his cross attempt catches the arm of the Houston defender. It's a penalty kick, and Jordan Kanoshi makes no mistake, burying it in the bottom left corner. 2-0 Jesters at the break. In the second half, it's Houston with another free kick, but the low driving ball is controlled by Youth. 64th minute, Jordan Rice with the low ball into the box. Kanoshi settles, cuts back, and scores. But offside is the call. But when we look at the replay, the last defender appears to be on the 5-yard line of the football markings, and Kanoshi is on about the 8, so it seems well onside, and Jesters players not happy with that decision. No taking away this goal. 80th minute, it's Rice with the beautiful ball to the penalty spot, and Tony Giudice with the perfect header far post. 3-0 Jesters, that's the final, as they win on opening night.
It felt amazing just to get the goal, playing for my city with a great bunch of guys. Even though it was just an exhibition match, I felt we came out, played well, and team chemistry was really well.
What about your comfort level in your first game?
Well, I've been dealing with an ankle injury, but I felt the team was very welcoming. Coaches, players, friends. It was easy getting involved in the game, and after it kept going, instincts took over.
What's it mean for you to finally get a chance to play professionally in front of your family, your friends?
Oh, it's amazing. I remember when I was little coming out to the Shell Shocker games, and just be able to put on the uniform, New Orleans on my chest. It's amazing. I'm very grateful.
It was good to get the experience in front of the home crowd to see what the atmosphere is like. It's a very good atmosphere. The crowd were fantastic, and I'm looking forward to the next game on Tuesday.
Talk about getting your first goal.
Well, I'm thankful that Kia let me take the penalty and Tony let me take the penalty because I just wanted to get it under the way, out my belt, and not have to worry about going on a drought or anything. So it was good. It was nice.
What about just fitting in with this team in the first game? And you haven't been around a lot. You haven't had a ton of chances to gel.
I mean, good players gel straight away, and that's what we did today. We looked like we've been playing together for years. We've really been playing together for just over a week and a bit. So it's good that we've shown good signs early on, and it's good signs for the rest of the season.
That was exciting. That was my first game with the New Orleans Jesters. So I'm glad to be part of this team. So I think that we will keep going well during the rest of the championship. That was good stuff for everybody. So it's all good.
What about personally? How did it feel? Were you comfortable out there?
Oh, that was my first game. I get a little frustrated. But I will keep going well for the next game or something like this. And I handled the game today with an injury in my ankle, so that's why I couldn't give a free kick during the game.
You do a very good job of controlling the ball. Is that something you pride yourself on, not giving up the ball in a long rebound?
Yeah, that was really exciting. I really love to play with a Jester. So we just handle it. Everybody do a good stuff, so well done to the Jesters players.
So as we look at some of the final match stats, Coach, what were you most pleased about on Saturday?
Well, as you said earlier, short preparation to get ready. With the concepts we're trying to put into the team, they executed well. Response from the players for what they were asked was very good. Possession time was excellent for us, and the fitness level of the players was superb as well.
Coach, one of the players we talked about last week, and he really was awesome on Saturday night, Jordan Kanoshi. He was all over the field showing that creativity that you talked about last week.
Yeah, so Jordan, what we brought him in for was to be exciting, was to, put well-organized defenses like on the back foot and a little bit off balance. And he's able to do that. I think he's going to get stronger and stronger as the games move along. But I did see that from him. He scored from the penalty spot. I'd like to see him score from open play. But when he ran at players, they were scared of him. In fact, if you look at how many times he was fouled during the game, we'll tell you how effective he was.
We're going to hear more from Jordan later in our Joking Around segment. But up next, Coach Farrell will take you through how two of the Jesters' goals came to be in our Coach's Breakdown. That's next on CST. This edition of the Jesters' Court is presented by Heineken. Open your world. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
I wasn't born in America, and arriving here wasn't easy for me. They didn't even say my name right. I thought I'd never fit in. But over time, I gained their respect, and that respect turned into admiration. Admiration into love. And the world better be ready, 'cause I'm an American now. My name is soccer.
Big plays, baby, big plays. Is that Mike?
Yeah, he lost his wall or something. He's on his way.
Classic Mike.
The B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch Menu. Fast, affordable lunches with a side of serious sports action. Dine in or take out. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right, so cover it near post. Okay, so at the end of the day, he's the boss, but we'll get tighter and tighter as the season goes on at these things. So we eventually got to, didn't we? But if they were any quicker on a restart, they could have taken advantage of us there. Put it down, boom, we're disorganized, ball comes square, shot. So it's got to be very, very quick.
So we take you inside the Jesters locker room after training earlier this week. And Coach, you don't get a lot of time with these guys, especially early on in the season. So how much info do you try and get across in sessions like this?
Yeah, well, you've got to be practical and you've got to be economical with your time, because it is a short run into the games and you get into the thick of things very quickly. So, after training, we'll come in, we'll talk about some concepts and some things that we expect from them, and the clarity is important. Players always want to know what their job is, and you also give them a voice to say what they can add. We ask for that. We want interaction among the players. We tell them what we're looking for. We want them to give us input, and then we mold it together as quickly as we possibly can to be as effective as we can in games going forward, heading towards, hopefully, winning the league and a championship.
Time now for our coaches breakdown presented by Heineken. And Coach, if the season ended after Saturday's game, you've already got 2 highlight reel goals, and it started with Mason Morris's goal off of a corner kick. Neil Smith's ball comes into the box, it's cleared away, but not out, and Morris with a beautiful finish. But Coach, first off, the clear is something that you stressed out to the players, your own players, this week.
Yeah, like obviously we're going over, defending corners and saying how, if you get your first head on the ball and you get it up diagonal away and in the air so people have time to step up and press the ball. This defender executed poorly. He was first to the ball, but he knocked it down centrally. But giving all credit to Mason, his first touch set him up for an absolutely brilliant half volley. His execution was so quick, his alertness was there, and it's probably a superbly executed goal. Struck the back of the net, and as he saw, everybody went wild. But delighted for him. Mandeville kid, looks like he's going to have a very bright future.
Now for Mr. Jester, Tony Giudice, with that perfect header for a goal. But after we look at it live, and a beautiful ball from Jordan Rice, and Giudice puts it away. Houston had plenty of players back, but not necessarily in good position.
Yeah, it was late in the game, and as I said earlier, we had a lot of possession, so we made them work very, very hard. They had sat deep and not pressed the ball, so when it came across to Jordan, who's in great position, he's going into the final third, he's got a lot of space around him. He's only got 2 options in the box. The most dangerous one is Tony, and they've not pressed him. So when the player didn't come to press, he picks out a perfect ball, and as it comes into Tony, Tony's thinking about how am I going to finish this? Well, he sees the keeper coming to the front post. He's not been marked tight, and so he's able to loop the ball back to the far post, which again is brilliant execution in the finish. There was no real pressure on him, but the service was fantastic. The execution of the finish was fantastic, and it makes me very happy to see that.
Makes us happy too. 2 pretty goals, and we hope to see more of the same in next week's Coaches Breakdown. But now it's time for our weekly training tip, and this week it's Keir Hannity on how you can keep possession of the ball on the dribble.
Hi, this is Keir Hannity of the New Orleans Jesters. I'm here right now with Luke Tweedy and Luke Hayfley, and we're going to show you guys how to dribble the soccer ball using both feet. Predominantly in soccer, most people usually only dribble with their favoured foot, okay, which is, it's okay, but it can become predictable by being like that. So what we try and develop as a skill is to be able to use both feet, your right and your left foot. And another main mistake that's made is that people only dribble using a certain part of the foot, using either the inside, okay, or the outside. But however, when you dribble, you've got to be able to try and use both parts of your feet, the inside and the outside. And a little tip as well is if you dribble using predominantly the outside of your foot, it allows you to dribble faster with the soccer ball. So if you see these guys do it, so a little tip to practice our dribbling will be what we call the inside-outside. So all it does is these guys will show you, using one foot to start with, using your right foot, you just practice using the inside and outside of your foot, moving the ball slowly, and as that gets easier, you want to speed it up a little bit quicker, inside and outside. Once that gets too easy, you can start doing it moving forward and moving backwards. So start off with side to side there, inside and outside. And Luke, he can show it now using both feet. So the next one you've got to look at doing is using both feet, so inside and outside of both feet. So if you ever see the best players in the world, your Messis and your Ronaldos, they're able to use the inside and outside of both feet going at top speeds. So start off slow, doing it nice and slow on the walk into a jog, so eventually getting comfortable doing it as fast as you can, sprinting with the ball.
Thanks, Keir, and coming up, we turn the show over to you, the fans, with our Ask the Coach segment. Plus, we joke around with Jordan Kanoshi. That's when the Jesters Court returns.
I wasn't born in America, and arriving here wasn't easy for me. They didn't even say my name right. I thought I'd never fit in. But over time, I gained their respect, and that respect turned into admiration. Admiration into love. And the world better be ready, 'cause I'm an American now. My name is soccer.
It's our town and our team. The New Orleans Jesters are back at Pan American Stadium for the 2016 season. Jesters Soccer is affordable family entertainment with season tickets starting at just $60 for adults and $35 for kids 14 and under, for an 8-game schedule that includes NPSL action and the newly created state battle for the Louisiana Cup. To get your Jesters tickets, go to nolajesters.com or call 504-312-3979. As we welcome you back to the Jesters Court, some of our Youth Academy players joining us, and they're showing off some hardware after a successful trip to Florida.
Yeah, our under-9s were in Florida this weekend playing in a tournament, and obviously had some great success. Both of them went to finals. We've 2 coded teams. We consider them one team, but one is purple, one is green, and they both went to the finals. Green winning the championship. But having said that, you know, it's good to win the medals and everything else, but we're seriously focused on getting these players developed. And it'd be a dream of mine to see all of them come through and play at the NPSL level.
That would be awesome. Well, it's time to put you in the hot seat with our question and answer segment from fans watching at home, sending their questions in on Twitter, and some of the fans here in the audience. We'll start with a Twitter question, and this is from Daniel Fryer, who wants to know if Tondo is ever going to get a chance to get on the field this season.
Well, hello, Daniel, in Iceland.
Wow.
Former player of ours. And you know what? We might just work Tondo into getting him fit enough, but I think where he is at the academy right now and developing these players is absolutely perfect. Most passionate guy, great asset to the Jesters. You will not see him on the field this year, Daniel.
I was going to say he is a tremendous instructor with those kids, though, and so he does a good job. And speaking of the kids, it's time for our first kid with a question.
Who is the second best soccer player on the Jesters?
How about them all being second best players on the Jesters?
The politically correct answer.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to answer those questions.
But you love your team.
Yeah, I do love the team, but there's a group of players that, I mean, from what I've seen this year with the whole squad, we're 1 game in and we're a couple of weeks in training. I don't know that I can answer that question, but I will tell you this. Attitude, approach, skill level, knowledge, determination, I'd have to give it to them all. They're all the best and the second best right now.
We got another Twitter question. This is from Saka Mom, who wants to know where your NOLA Jesters players are from. And they're really from all over, a lot of local guys, but you got a lot of guys from all over.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's 50-50 as far as the team we put on the field. The squad, the first team anyway, is about 50-50 with local players and players that come in from out of town. We've got some English influence with Niall and Kenoshi, as you well know, and then Kier's been here as well. But, you know, there's some international, there's some from around the States, and you know, and again, there's some great local players that we've brought through playing for us. So it's a mixture of everything, and it takes that. We want the local players to succeed, and we need that international experience to come and help them develop and become champions, hopefully.
We got another question from the audience, so let's hear what we got.
Why do youth teams have to play with modified rules?
Yeah, modified fields. US soccer years ago, and they've been a little bit ahead of the game than the rest of the world on this, that small-sided games, more touches on the ball, getting players on the ball, playing in tighter spaces. They play 8v8. Most of the rest of the world followed along with them, so you got to give US soccer credit for that. So what it is, you develop in stages, and to play 11v11 and try and replicate the full game is not really realistic for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds. You move into that at 13 years old, and that's fine. That's the right time. Try and give them, you know, more time on the ball. Still give them the same concepts that you have to play. But unlike baseball or football, you cannot replicate the game. You're developed differently in soccer than you are in those sports. And that's why the rules are modified, and that's why it's broken down into smaller areas.
We've got another Twitter question, and we know the answer to this one already. This one's from the Royal Court, who wants to know who's your favorite supporters group.
There is no question that the Royal Court is my favorite supporters group, and I love them to death. And I can't wait to see them at the games this season. They were great last Saturday night. Yes, Royal Court is my favorite, just for the record.
And we have a tie-in Twitter question from The31, who wants to know your favorite Royal Court story that you can say on TV.
Well, there's a couple, really. They're really funny guys. They're great fans. And they are what makes it work at that level. And, you know, Chattanooga came down last year. I got to be careful, but Chattanooga came down last year. and we sent them to the far side of the stadium, which is usually empty. So our side, one side fills, this side's empty. But they went over because there was 50 or 60 of them came down in buses, and we were losing. So the Royal Court left their area in our part of the stadium, and you know they have the purple smoke bombs?
Right.
I'm looking across the stadium at all these Chattanooga fans in Pan American Stadium, and all of a sudden there's purple smoke coming up from under the stand, and they're all choking, and and it's like they don't know where it's coming from,
like
and they're starting to scatter, and we're down 3-0 at the time, and the Royal Court didn't care. They were over there having so much fun with it. It was actually very, very, very funny. Chattanooga got it at the end of the day, but they didn't get it at the time.
That is pretty funny. All right, another question from our audience here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
How much Jesters coaches are there all together?
All right, so Jesters coaches. We have 6 coaches in the academy right now. 4 are pretty much full-time. If you add me, I'm 7. Goalkeeper coach, Britton Chauvin, 4 very dedicated coaches that go every night and develop the players. And I keep it that way simply because I want coaches that are in it to build a program over the long term. And these guys are invaluable to us because they get the understanding of building the program over a period of time, and they're dedicated to the development of the kids, and I couldn't say anything better about them.
One more Twitter question is from Sign Pez, who wants to know how the NPSL fits into the soccer pyramid.
The NPSL is the 4th tier of soccer in the United States. So you got Major League Soccer, and they consider the NASL the 2nd tier, USL Pro League 3rd tier, and then the NPSL is considered, along with the PDL. There's two different organizations that have the 4th tier of soccer. It's basically a developmental league where some of the best talent between 16, 17, and 23 years old plays, and they've 2 or 3 year cycle. And as you've seen success with us, we've got players that have gone to the NASL and Major League Soccer and gone to higher leagues. But it's a it's probably the most critical level in the United States at the moment.
Finally, one more question from our audience here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Who has a better haircut, Coach Fabian or Coach Tondo?
Who has a better haircut, Coach Fabian or Coach Tondo? I've got to say Coach Fabian has a better head of hair than Coach Tondo. We have been trying to get Tondo to go bald. We think he'd have a very nice head if he was bald. He could shine it up and it'd be great. But for sure, Coach Fabian has a wonderful head of hair.
Great questions from Twitter and from our audience, and we will do that every week. Now, when we come back, we'll get to know Jesters striker Jordan Kanoshi, and we'll take a look at the week ahead for your New Orleans Jesters.
I wasn't born in America, and arriving here wasn't easy for me. They didn't even say my name right. I thought I'd never fit in. But over time, I gained their respect, and that respect turned into admiration. Admiration into love. And the world better be ready, 'cause I'm an American now. My name is soccer.
It's our town and our team. The New Orleans Jesters are back at Pan American Stadium for the 2016 season. Jesters Soccer is affordable family entertainment with season tickets starting at just $60 for adults and $35 for kids 14 and under, for an 8-game schedule that includes NPSL action and the newly created state battle for the Louisiana Cup. To get your Jesters tickets, go to nolajesters.com or call 504-312-3979.
Big plays, baby, big plays. Is that Mike?
Yeah, he lost his wall or something. He's on his way.
Classic Mike.
The B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch Menu. Fast, affordable lunches with a side of serious sports action. Dine in or take out. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
We welcome you back to the Jesters Court here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Metairie, and it's time for our joking around segment with our star forward, at least after one game, Jordan Kanoshi. And he's going to make you laugh in this edition of Joking Around.
Hi, I'm Jordan Kanoshi. I'm a striker and this is my first year with the New Orleans Jesters. My favourite TV show is probably My Wife and Kids. I find it really funny, so yeah, it's probably my favourite. My favourite movie is without a doubt Gladiator. So for me, it's the best film ever created. I think it's just really well directed and has a really good story to it, and it's just really intriguing from the start to the finish. My favourite artist is probably right now The Weeknd. I'm not sure if you've heard of her. It's a female artist called Pixie Lott. She's an English singer, and for me, she's just gorgeous. So. LA is where I really want to visit. It just looks amazing on TV. And New York City is one I visited and stayed for 2 years, and I really love that city as well. I'm actually a former chess champion at home. I played chess from the ages of about 5 till my mum just taught me up till now, so yeah. If I wasn't a soccer player, I'd probably be a businessman. I really want to get into property and just see where that leads me. Cristiano Ronaldo. He's my favourite player just because of his work ethic, and also like Thierry Henry and Lionel Messi. It's probably this year we had a big, for my school, we had a big game against our rivals, and I won a penalty, and unfortunately I put it wide in front of a big crowd, so that's probably my most embarrassing.
Ironic that Jordan's most embarrassing moment in soccer came when he missed a penalty kick because he buried one Saturday night, and later in the season we'll have a training tip from him on making penalty kicks. But now it's time for the week ahead, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Jordan and the rest of the Jesters back on the field twice this week. Of course, the first leg of the Louisiana Cup Tuesday night at Pan American Stadium against Shreveport. Then on Saturday, Coach, you jump into NPSL play against the Knoxville Force.
Yeah, looking forward to it. You know, it's been a good start to the season. We're adding players all the time that come in at different times, part and parcel of being in this league. But, you know, I asked the players Saturday night when they went out, and we had brought through some players from our U20 developmental team. I said, make it very difficult for me to add players to the team going forward. That's what I want from you. I said, show me what it takes, solve problems, execute. And they did that. So we'll have a look again tomorrow night, and if they keep winning and keep doing well, it makes it very difficult for me, no matter who's coming in. So Knoxville's a big game, Louisiana Cup, Tuesday night's a big game, but Knoxville, NPSL, that's what it's all about. We've got to go and win that game.
Remember, you can find ticket information on NOLAJesters.com and keep up to date on Jesters news on Twitter by following @NOLAJesters or following me at PBoron88. And next week, we'll have highlights and reaction from both the Louisiana Cup and the match against Knoxville at these airtimes. And remember, all shows are available on my YouTube channel with new shows added each Thursday. So a big week for the Jesters as they look to build on that result against Houston. And we hope we'll see you out at Pan American Stadium and right back here for the Jesters court next week. For head coach Kenny Farrell, Paul Boron saying so long from Buffalo Wild Wings in Metairie.